Alright guys, I want to talk about these Bludio T3 turbine headphones. Really enjoy these things. I ended up getting these. I paid for them cash um, through GearBest. They were like 30 something bucks. I think it was a flash sale I caught them on. I'm really into the Bluetooth headphones lately. I just use them a lot. And these ones aren't really as mobile as the smaller ones, but I work in a pretty busy office environment about half the time. I spend half my life on the road, the other half, kind of chained to a desk. And when you're in a busy, loud office, you know how much it can be distracting and all that. So a good pair of headphones is a must when you have deadlines to meet, things to do, and you just can't have the distraction. So some of the smaller ones have really worked good for me, and I wanted to get something a little bit nicer that was a full-size headphone. So these Bludio T3s came up as a very well-rated and good value for the money. Now I got these things home in the mail, and not bad. I'm a couple good, couple bad things I want to talk about them. There's a lot of adjustment here, so if you have a really big or really little dome, these things do have a lot of room to adjust. They have really nice padded earpieces here. Quite a bit of rock and adjustment to them, so you can do quite a bit as far as that. They, kind of swivel in and out, and it feels like it's got some kind of like detent or something. There's a lot of resistance to it, so they're not floppy at all. You have your power switch, your switches on the sides, and then you have on the bottoms you have your USB plug-in, because these are USB powered, and your wire. So if you want to hook this up directly to a wired source and all that, you can do that as well. Pretty good runtime out of these batteries. Had quite a few days at the office and haven't had to charge them yet. I don't wear them all the time, obviously, but yeah, pretty happy so far. They're going to come with your USB and your plug-in cable for them, and a little kind of velour bag to store them in, which is kind of nice because they are, a little tough item to store, because they're odd shape. They do pack down. You got to kind of extend them out to pack them down the smallest, actually, which is kind of weird. You would think that you want them all the way out, but when you do pack them down, they fold up like this, and that does take up less room than when they're completely collapsed. So a lot of metal here. These are actually pretty heavy, surprisingly heavy. You pick them up and but they're pretty comfortable. They're very padded. The ear things are padded. They feel really comfortable. The headpiece is padded. So I've worn these for some pretty long extended periods, a couple hours, and they're very, very comfortable to wear. I didn't have any. I know some people complained about them being too heavy, but it didn't seem to bother me at all. Like I said, they charge USB, decent battery life. Complaints I have is they're very loud. So when you're taking them on and off, if you're trying to do it quietly, like if I'm sitting in bed, maybe listening to YouTube videos, which I've been doing with these, and trying to keep quiet, taking these on and off can be very loud. So that is one negative. And now let's talk about sound quality. Now, I've got a pretty good variety of headphones, from really, really cheap ones to really decent ones for the money. And I think these are my second best behind those Meizu EP52s. These have quite a bit of bass. They don't really have that tinny sound. There's a little bit of a hiss when there's no music. You can definitely hear a very faint hiss there when nothing's on. And these things are very loud. I actually, when I run these, only set them in like the second bar of my volume on my phone, because anything much louder than that is just uncomfortable for me. They do get very loud. At full volume, there is some distortion, but it's only really noticeable on songs with heavy bass. If you're listening to Christmas music, you're not going to notice it, and you can blast it at full blast, and it's going to sound pretty decent. But if you're listening to Primus, it's not going to sound the best at full blast. But the volume, if you can listen to these at full blast, you're more of a man than me. Let's just put it that way. But the quality is not bad. It's got a pretty good range to it. It just, it doesn't sound too tinny. I know a lot of these tend to sound tinny to me. I'm not really getting that. It seems like there's a good depth to the music, and you can definitely pick up some of the fainter instruments and things like that. So it definitely, I do like that. It does, sound very nice. They're not the best you're going to get by far. You can easily spend hundreds of dollars on Bluetooth headphones. So this $30 pair, of course, isn't going to hold a candle to those really expensive ones. But for what they are, as a $30 pair, they're pretty good. The noise canceling is actually very good. I was standing in my kitchen making mac and cheese for the family, and because real men cook, guys, just so you know. And my wife was actually hollering at me, and I didn't hear her. And she's like, "Well, why are you listening to music so loud?" I'm like, "I'm not." And I put it on her ears, and she was like, "Holy cow, you're really not." She was really surprised by how much noise they block. You know, you don't have to play them loud to block noise. They do a very good job, you know, with all that padding in there and how they kind of sit in, kind of snug to your head. She was standing behind me like, "Hey, hey," and I didn't hear her. I didn't even begin to hear her. So they do have some pretty good noise cancellation. And in the office, it's nice as well because I can't hear people talking and gossiping and phones ringing and things like that. So they're very kind of handy in that aspect. Some of the smaller headphones do a good job at noise canceling. You know, the earbuds, not as good as this though. So if noise cancellation is your thing, and you just have earbuds, you're going to find a big upgrade with going to something like this. That is going to do a much better job at canceling out noise. Now, like I said, the sound quality is not perfect, but for your average dude, you know, who just wants to sit around listening to Poison songs at the office in between bouts of Motley Crue, this is more than adequate, and they're good. They're good quality. They're heavy, you know, and they're decent for the price. You know, this is my first pair of over the ears, so I don't have a ton to compare them to except for the growing collection of earbuds. So compared to the earbuds, I like these better. Would I bring these camping? No. Would I bring the earbuds camping? Yes. You know, but these are really good around the house. You know, it's nice because like being able to lay in bed, you know, and listen to YouTube videos without bothering anyone was kind of nice. Bothering anyone, like I got 5 people in my bed. But no, having a couple of kids, young kids, you know, sometimes videos can stir them awake, you know, so it's kind of nice, you know, to be able to have this kind of nice, quiet Bluetooth headphones. You don't have wires, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. So like them, guys, really like them. Definitely something to check out. I think they're a good brand, good name, good quality. They got a good history behind them, and you know, other people review them as well. I have pretty good things to say about them. I checked the reviews before I bought them, you know, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting something really junky. But definitely glad I bought them. You know, I think for the price and what they're selling them for, they're really a good value headphone.